Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again, and I have two wonderful ladies who are going to tell their story. To my right, I have Ms. Marsha, and she has done all she can with the help of a few to bring our wonderful lady to my left here, Ms. Makoni. And she is the founder of the Girl Child Network and also a CNN hero. And above all, she is a mother who is fighting for children all over the world, the girl child, and that's what it's all about. I want to give you a chance for her to tell her story a little bit, and I would like to ask her questions coming from the trying to speak for the people, trying to speak for the men, and trying to speak for myself, because we've seen her in all kinds of network. I am an African, I'm a girl, I want to speak to our mother and ask her questions. And I would also like to thank Ms. Marsha for helping bring Ms. Betty back here to Seattle, Washington, on her long journey being on tour around the world or in the United States. So thank you, Ms. Marsha, for being here with me today.
Thank you.
And also Ms. Makoni.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here with me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, before I go, how did you come about ending up in Seattle, Washington? Because you came to the United States to collect an award.
Oh yes. With Marsha, we have been friends on Facebook, but here I was in Seattle some few months ago, and when I first visited last year, Marsha organized a dinner for all Africans to come together at her house. That's when I saw people of all nations in her house. It really touched my heart just to see people who migrated from a continent, who are not in one country, forming their United States of Africa, but in someone's home. It became very symbolic, and I really wanted to explore that concept. But later on, when I returned to England, one of the women who attended the dinner was murdered.
Oh.
Then I saw Marsha on television crying. I saw her being interviewed. It really moved my heart to say the young women are on their own. What's really going on? I reached out to Marsha. I tried to do everything, but my heart felt like coming so that I pay tribute to Mary.
Yeah.
So what touched me about Mary, her story made me to walk my journey back to Chitungwiza, where I grew up, because the way she was murdered, it's exactly how I lost my mother in the home. So it has been actually a journey in a journey. Whilst I'm trying to find the young women who are coming together to support communities, to support us who are older than them, and to give us energy so that we help people back home. They are also struck with a tragedy.
Yes.
So just using my experience of writing poetry, I just try to put words together, because at that juncture, only words could mean anything to us. We lost a human being, and we had nothing to say but to simply say, can we be strong? And we had also to give Mary a voice at that stage. So my coming here is to pay a tribute to Mary, and also to remind every African who attended the event that this must stop. We must stop these tragedies. We are in foreign countries. We must take advantage of all opportunities. She had a job. She could have looked after many people back home.
Yeah.
So this is how I came to know Marsha. So she does her own activism at that basic level.
Yeah.
And then I came to admire her when she took me around Seattle to see different sites, and also to educate me about the area. It might seem to be a small contribution to an activist like me, but rarely do I get such moments when you get a special treat, especially from a woman of your own. I've been somebody who has been persecuted by Zimbabwean women for a long time, but to get somebody of your age to come to hold my hand, to say keep going, that really touched my heart and moved me. So when she called me to come, I knew she was calling me for something positive.
Yeah.
So whenever Marsha sends me a message, I know she means it. So I'm here also to tell her that I'm here to listen to what she is telling me to do.
Definitely, that is lovely. I can feel the mother and daughter thing going on here. So, Miss Marsha, I've got to ask you, what does she mean to you? Because I'm not sure when you first got to learn about her and how you started following her, even up to the point of communicating on Facebook, and even listening to her right now talk about you in that way. How do you feel?
Well, Betty, I became aware of her work just being from Zimbabwe myself. But when she won the CNN award is when it really struck me just the impact of her work and what she's really doing. Because I left home when I was 17. So being in North America, I was really able to be educated a bit more into the kind of work that she's doing. And I said, I have to find this woman. I want to meet this woman. I want her to be in my home, and just, out loud as I was watching on TV. So I found her, thank goodness for social media. I found her on Facebook, we interacted, and sure enough, a year later, we were communicating, and she was in the area on some other work, and we became connected, and I invited her to my home and hosted a dinner for her. So it's been a journey, because as I began to know Betty, and really see that as you are driving in the car with her, she lives and she breathes empowerment. She will be just talking inspiring words, helping you to, really live your full potential. And I'm somebody who grew up, already knowing my own power, but always feeling like I have to not show it. I shouldn't let it shine. But since knowing Betty, it's just that realizing that the strength that she has and the power that she has, that you have to let it shine. It really helped to remind me that, I have to take charge of my own power and use my power, because she's not somebody I've seen her handle people on Facebook and speak her mind. And I listened to a radio show and I followed Betty, and it really helped me to realize, that's why to me I consider her my mentor, because as I look at the way she conducts herself and lives her life, it has inspired me to really just be who I am. And not shrink back and think I have to hide it. Because for a while I used to be so scared, because I grew up being this bigger than life person and being told almost I was too much. But when I've seen the way Betty conducts herself, it helped me to just be myself and to realize that, hey, I am who I am. I'm not too much. But for me to be able to support her work, I could give $10 or whatever little I have as a single mom. But I realized if I can get 10 people to give $10, then we can help her further do her work more. And when you are here in the Western world, you feel like sometimes, there's not much I can do back home, but through organizations like Girl Child Network, we can give back to the people back home. I've actually been able to contact Betty based on some news reports and say, there's a child I heard being abused in Chirwa, and she's able to connect back with the organization and get help for those people that need the help. So when I saw that I can actually help while I'm here, help the organization to help the people back home, then it has really inspired me to really get behind her organization.
And be the best person you can be and embrace yourself and be you.
Amen.
That is very lovely. So now, Miss Betty, I'm going to come back to you. She mentioned how empowering you were even from the moment she met you face-to-face at the airports and driving back home. Have you always been like that? Before the incident of you being raped, did you grow up with that? What brought out that person? Is this who Betty is? Mm-hmm. Seeking for empowerment in anything you do, that's just who you live it and you breathe it.
I think I was just born like that, because at age 6, I was able to go on the streets with girls who were older than me. And when they were giving change to customers, they used to give wrong change. And I don't know where I did mathematics at age 6, where I jumped it to say, you're giving them too much. I grew up selling at markets. So at age 6, people would think that I had a small body, but a big brain. So people would think that I was like a spirit that speaks, or something supernatural. So I used to have so many nicknames. Then after age 6, I took responsibility in the home. When older women went hoarding, what we call hoarding, like you have to go to the big market and you hoard things. They would actually lose their tomatoes, whatever. I lost none. I'm somebody who just grips something, and I think my kind of brain is one that unleashes its own potential. Every little discovery leads to an empowerment. I never went to a school for girl empowerment, but tell you what, I designed every program from my story to an extent that I ended up instilling the same concept in girls. So all of them became duplicates of Betty Makoni. It might not be with the same color, but the color is actually very similar. So there is something that has not been explored in children. We always think, oh, they lead when they are older. Like what Marsha has been saying, that she was constantly told that you are too much.
She has to diminish her.
She's not too much. She's hyper. She only needs people who tell her to explore. And our culture always limits. If
Definitely.
you talk, if they think you talk too much, they don't think you are a confident person. They want this passive behavior, because that passive behavior, some people take advantage to exploit you.
Yeah.
So everything that I designed around empowerment came from within. Empowerment does not come from you to me. It comes from me. I'm the one who brings out the voice. I'm the one who declares a space. I'm the one who shows the direction where I'm going. If I'm saying I'm going to the door, I go to the door. I don't go. If somebody says, no, don't go to the door, when I want to go to the door, I go to the door. Whatever they will say, they will know I go to the door. So the thing is that I became 60 at 6. The wisdom at 60 was my wisdom at 6. So that's what we are underestimating in our African children.
Yeah.
For long, we have thought that a certain age would then tell you that a child is now there. We ignore when a girl is, say, 10 and she's already showing signs of being a businesswoman. We don't mentor her to take a direction. So that's what I quickly discovered as I grew up. I had no mother to tell me to do homework. I had no mother to tell me to run after a bus for an interview in a good girls' school. Who told me to go to a school with no school fees and refuse to come out of the school? Instead of a school chasing me away for not having school fees, I demanded to work so that they pay my school fees. I always see a situation where people must grant me my rights. If you are a poor person, you have got rights. The rich people must share with you. So the thing is, I'm also in this country, in America, to say, I know you have got extra pairs of shoes. Can you just, do away with one and give it to me so that I give these ones? I think that's why my strength, where I see the imbalance, and then I try to say, you give this one, you give this one. So if you see my kind of life, I'm somebody who goes around people telling who should give who, and who should move, and who should stay here. So I do that coordination very informally, but you know what? It has taken girls to American University in Washington, D.C. It has taken girls to United Nations to be employees there. I've actually fed every system, but can somebody think that a woman who was in rebels like me could be the one with all these young women in big organizations? So this is where we want to further dig deeper, to say we have got people with potential. Why are we, pushing them down?
Yeah.
Why are they not visible?
I have definitely, that's one thing I noticed with we Africans. I think it has to do with our culture, as you said. We are trying to, they're like, oh, you're growing too fast, or you're doing too, or she's too much, or why is she thinking about this? She should be concentrating on this. We don't try to identify the potentials or the signs of what that child could be destined to do. And instead, we try to put them in a different direction instead of making them grow and blossom in what they are doing. However, sorry, go ahead.
And what you begin to see with the number of orphaned children in the continent, they are mothers, yet we are still in denial that they are children. So the reversal of roles is reality. When I was a mother at 9 years, I played that role. Look at all my brothers who graduated biomedical degrees, physical science degrees. If only I had said to myself, I'm a child, therefore the man I go vending on the streets, I don't pay their school fees. Yeah. They could be, robbers or something else. So the thing is that the potential that we have, given any tragic situation, should make us, forge ahead even stronger. They say what doesn't kill you makes you very strong. Stronger than anything. Yeah. So we just want to think in Africa there are no more parents. And some grandparents are only 30 years. Do you know that? These days. She gave birth at 13. Yeah. Her daughter gave birth at 13. She's now 30. You may be a grandmother in Africa. So can we now say age is anything? No, we say experience, and the story is something.
Well, that's a powerful message coming from you. And it's a lot to comprehend. But I would like to ask you, being through all of this has been a long journey, okay? From where you started, how you have found all of these awards. How do you take all this in? I'm asking you because some people feel they are destined for something. Some people feel they make their own destiny. Question is, being that there's this idea of you're destined for something, other people says you make your own destiny. How do you feel about everything you have done and how you go about dealing with issues of girl empowerment?
I think the way I have dealt with girl empowerment is to set a story. It's not, we have got 3 million girls in Zimbabwe, but per year I took 3,000. And I've got this idea that every girl multiplies into something. So 10 years, we are harvesting. The past decade, we were sweating, just thinking, will this girl come out of a situation and the like? And then when I am thinking of my own story, I did not give up on myself. Yeah. That's why I'm here. If you give up, some people will give in. Where you are removing yourself, someone will substitute you. So I've always seen everything coming in as an opportunity. We come from situations where long back we were never recognized. I tried to stand up to speak. People would jeer at me to say, that poor girl again, what can she tell us? Yeah. I really tried to stand up in church. I really tried to stand up in class. I came first. But the fact that I had a torn uniform, the fact that I had menstrual blood on my uniform, resulted in people prejudging me all the time. So there are also prejudices. Girls must break into pieces. To say, here I am, can you see me? Now that you see me, can you leave me here? Because the more space you occupy, the more your opportunities in life open. So here we are dealing with the most vulnerable girls. We have lost everything. You have lost your most delicate part. It has been torn into pieces. You are a mother at 15 years. You are HIV positive. You are a widow. Everything there. Then we start saying, well, with a widow, you are not the one to raise dead men from the graves. Let the dead go where they belong. You subtract that. Then next thing, you are a mother. Yes, when the baby is grown, or if you can leave them with someone else, let them be there and you go to school, do something. Yeah. Because motherhood should not stop you from being economically independent. Work towards an empowerment handbag, because in it is your freedom. Start putting one thing at a time. Then we also think about you being bereaved. Yes, the loss, we understand death is what is going to be. So can we substitute death with life that you are leading? So we always try to fit something, because with a girl, you've got a long way to go. You are not like a woman who is 80 or 90, who has got 10 more years most probably to go. 15-year-old girl who is widowed, HIV positive, who is a single mother, you have got about another 50 years to go. So 10 years you can plan and do things. Another 40 years you can enjoy life. And then when time comes where you go where dead people are, you can always go. So I'm saying, let's do the work. Let's work whatever we can work to bring an empowerment handbag. That's reality. We need money to survive. We need to buy homes to survive. We need that independence to hold something to our own. So a girl does not do that when they are 20. They do that when they are 8 and above. 8 years. After 8 years, it's like teaching old dog new tricks. It's very difficult to cure a rotten tooth than to clean the truth. So prevention is better than cure. That's the strategy we take. So I take everything because I've stopped the tragedy on myself. I don't want to suffer. I know what to suffer is. So I try to stop it. I only take the positive side of life because that's what I want to lead.
And that's it takes a lot of people. You have to go through stuff to be able to speak like that and to know like that. So my main thing is that you have gone through a lot of stuff. You're using that to change the life of other people and have other girls at a little age to get to the point where they can grow and fulfill their destiny and fulfill their potential and be more than what society thinks that they should be. Being from the slum or being from whatever, they have this potential that you could not be anything. But you are trying to spread a message that a girl needs to have attention and she can be more and she can attain whatever she wants to attain and be the best person she can be. So let me ask, how do you overcome the negative information? As you said, the people from Zimbabwe, some people have been giving you negative critics. How do you overcome that? How do you block that from stopping you accomplishing and speaking out for your cause? How do you overcome all these obstacles?
I think it is very critical for any leader if you are starting to lead. Like I started leading at the marketplace. I always knew that when I go hoarding, I go with $10. When I go sell, I make a profit of $5. All the money, the one who was responsible was my mother. I gave all to my mother. So I trusted myself with like finance at age 6. So if I trusted myself and managed to go to pay school instead of buying sweets like any other spoiled girls, it means I learned responsibility, honesty, and being truthful at a much earlier age than any other spoiled woman who parade around the internet. They are not as resilient as I am, who took even 2 cents back home. They used to take that money for sweets. I never had a sweet as a girl. So I'm saying I learned to do something with goodwill and good intent at age 6. That I remember, and I lived up to it. I also learned to go to a boarding school during holiday, walking 40 miles on foot in winter with no shoes. If I was a lazy girl, or if I was a girl who wanted to cheat, I could have gone to a brothel. I could have told the people at home that I'm going to be going to school and cheat them. But I was straight on the road. So I'm a woman who has learned to be on the road straight where I'm going. I set a goal and I achieve it. When I finished my university, I actually went back to my community and rededicate myself to say, I'm back. I'm now an English teacher. Can I listen to you? So I listened to the children truthfully. When I started mobilizing funding for them, first of all, I didn't see them. I saw myself to say, if somebody collected money and cheated me, I could have gone, poor.
Yeah.
So I've trusted myself to the girls I helped. They know themselves. They thank me. And I've also trusted myself to donating time. I give time. If I were to compare the time I do the work and others in the private sector, I would be a millionaire because I work with no watch. Who looks after us as activists? Who pays us? How much are we paid? Who knows? Honestly, who has ever touched my payslip or my bank statement? I think anyone writing on the internet without my bank statement, without, substantiated evidence is doing unfairness. And I've always said it's very unfair for another woman to leave your story untold and then rush to bed. You don't know. Most people who write about me, they don't even know the journey I trod. And then the unfair thing is that after writing my autobiography, I discovered that I'm a story with 437 pages. How dare somebody writes a paragraph about me out of context, out of a situation that I don't even know? I'm not a one-page story. I'm a 437-page story. I'm going to present my story to the world. Whoever is genuine about Betty Makoni will read that story. I don't tell a lie. And in the book I said the book is truth and only truth. Once I learned truth at age 6, up until I'm 600 years old, I will tell truth. So the thing is that as a leader, always have principles. No matter what debt is put around you, you stay strong because you are principled. So I always tell girls, people who lie about you. I've got many people I worked with. By the time you say, no, this thing is not good, they hated you. They hated you to an extent of wanting to destroy you. But the good thing is that stand on principle. Don't be shaken. Don't be threatened. If you know what you are saying is truth, stick to it. So that's what my life is. You can put data around me. You can, like what my stepmothers used to do. They used to beat me. If something is stolen in the home, they used to beat me almost to death. Did I die? No. Like these internet stepmothers, they're doing that again. Am I dying? No. Like Angela, I say, I rise, and I keep rising. The more you torment me, the more I top the charts. The more you terrorize me, the more I top, and I go top, top, top. So, and also build your own support base. If I am to die today, my supporters can do a post-mortem and see what killed me. If I'm to fall sick, they can do a blood test on whatever has gone wrong, not any other person. So I've got a support base. So as an individual girl or a woman, know who supports you, know who trusts you, know who is in your circle. And then what I want to acknowledge also, I'm not a perfect person. I make a lot of mistakes. But those mistakes must not be exaggerated. Sure. Yes, we shouldn't exaggerate. Leaders make mistakes. Like, for instance, in my autobiography, I actually wrote down that when it comes to recruiting staff, I'm the weakest leader. I just recruit everyone out of if a woman comes crying to me, you are now my employee. Yes. But tomorrow it turns out to be the other thing. So such things are weaknesses where you are an activist, you just do shortcuts that can also undermine you. Mm-hmm. So know that as activists, we are not managers. We always want professionals to also manage us, to do the PR, to do the management. Yeah. But as African women, can we afford that? We are not corrupt presidents who are looting diamonds in countries. No, we are struggling.
Struggling to make things better for the whole. To make things better that's the job they should be doing as presidents, and trying to make the people improve our standards, improve the people. Mm-hmm. But when people like you step up to do it, that is the time we are supposed to hold the person together and make things work so everyone around can benefit. The children, the fights you're working for can be attained faster. But I see that our people, we don't do it. Once one person stands up, you have the recognition. By you doing your effort, by you sweating to make things happen positive for other people, now you have recognition. Instead of people to sometimes assist you, mm-hmm. they try to pull you down or wear down your name, mm-hmm. or try to find faults in you.
And also look at the caliber of people who are doing that. That's the most important thing as a leader. Who is she? And if you go to explore further, you actually tell yourself that some fights are not worth fighting. You look at the caliber of person who is doing that to you and you say, is it worth it? Or should I use my energy for something else? And also, what have they done? They demand me to be transparent. They run charities whose monies we don't even know. The one who is calling for you to be transparent that has never even been transparent themselves. So it's like pointing with a finger when three are pointing at you. There are a lot of people who have demanded things from me that they don't even dare to do. So it really shocks me that whereas they demand perfection from me, they do the worst things. So I am also suggesting to people that when you see someone working, they've got a story. People don't just start doing things. People don't just start fundraising. No. Some people mean well. I'm here because I'm plowing back. I'm not here to steal anyone's money. If I wanted to steal anyone's money, then I would have been a charity director earning $500,000 US. There are charity directors who earn $500,000 and you don't even see them struggling like what we are doing. How much did we fundraise today?
I know.
Am I a millionaire today? But you know, when it goes out there, people would think from this hotel I got $1 million US. So all those things, we need other people who are open-minded, who actually explore, find out, and get to engage women like us to learn about our struggles. Maybe those struggles are very much hidden, but they are real.
Definitely. I really appreciate your time. So we are here at an event where she was the keynote speaker, and she spoke about the girl child and the things she's doing and the words of encouragement and her book that she has. I have it with me. Do you have a copy right here? Mm-hmm. And she wrote this book herself. And here it is by Betty Makoni, A Woman Wants a Girl. And I encourage you all get it. It is how much is it?
$12 US.
$12 US. And as she had said, I am actually surprised, first of all, that we don't have enough Africans, even blacks, coming for such events to support, to learn, to encourage our sister and to inspire her, or just to be encouraged ourselves to be the best we can be, or be encouraged to help by going back home and doing something different. It's like I'm looking around here and we even have more Caucasians than blacks. What is going on? Yet we said, oh, no change is going on within us. Or some people criticize her for how she has come by the influence, the awards, and the recognition. What are we doing ourselves? If an artist comes here, whatever artist comes from Africa, how many people are going to come for it? The entire place is going to be filled with people. But how about things that are important? Things that can make a change in the life of people. How come we don't participate in it? Or we just pretend that we don't see that such things are happening? Anyway, I would like you to please give a message to every woman that is out there in whatever country who is trying to make a difference in the life of a girl or in the life of themselves. What message do you have for them? Because some people have started the way you are. They are trying to make a difference. They might not be recognized now. Mm-hmm. What is your message of encouragement to such women?
I think what I would like to do is I will read just a poem.
Okay.
A quick one.
Okay.
A poem just to, encourage you to stay strong, to do whatever you want to do. My poem is taken from chapter 13 of my book. It's called From Victim to Survivor to Leader. After working 10 years in the organization, I wrote a poem entitled From 1999 to 009. 00 means after 10 years, goodness, gosh. What I saw. So whatever I saw here, I want you to note it, because those are the things you will meet as a leader. I've seen them all: shockers and shakers, starters and stragglers, winners and losers, 1999 to 009, girls of power and girls of the poor with great potential, girls destined and girls distanced. I've seen them all in one decade. Organizations of friends and organizations of foes, organizations infiltrated and organizations filtered. 009. Directors who founded organizations and directors who find organizations. Directors who make sense and directors who make sense. Directors of passion and directors of pastime. Staff who perform and staff who perforate. Staff who give excuses and staff who give excesses. Boards that stay on board and boards overboard. Boards duly elected and boards fully ejected. Governments of the people and governments of the people. Governments voted by the people and government vetoed by the people. Donors who interfere and donors who are freer. Donors who underestimate and donors who understand. Patriarchal husbands of gender activists. Patriarchal husbands of gender activists, sympathetic behind the scenes supporters and frontline pretenders and hypocrites. 009 from 1999. I felt it all, thought it all, said it all. 009 from 1999. So I'm trying to say, are you a founder of an organization or are you finding an organization? If you just pick up something, it's easy to destroy it. If you see someone who is doing something and you have never worked for it, you are easy to break it down. So the message I have for women is, let's not pull each other down. In these organizations, workplaces, we are there to encourage those who do good. We are there to be positive, to instill positive in each other. If someone is wrong, constructive criticism. Be the leader others want to follow. If you want others to follow you, so be the good leader. And don't you ever point anyone with one finger when three are pointing at you. Who are you? What are you doing? What is your story? Let's hear you before we hear those you are talking about. And the message is, let's work the work and not work the people. Ngatishande ibasa kwete kushanda vana. Let's do the work always. That's my message.
Thank you very much. I appreciate having such people here with me, because I think to make the world a better place, it's individuals that have to make the difference. No matter what, your effort is very, very, very much important. And as long as you keep on fighting, you're fighting for you, you're fighting for your brothers, your sisters around the world. And I appreciate everyone around the world who is trying to make a difference somewhere or the other in trying to make their life a better place, or trying to make other people's life, as Miss Betty is doing, trying to make make the lives of the girls. Boys are important. Boys need to. I'm not sure how you feel about the power, like the males, but they are important. But it seems the girls have been forgotten for so long. The girls do not have a voice. That's why people like you emphasize the girl, because she is everything. She grows up to be that, and she goes through a lot of things throughout her stages of life. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you to please, if you do not know this woman, find the information about her. If you need details as to get this book, I will make sure that we have the details on the site for you to check out at the end of this video. Miss Betty, I would like to ask you, are you a Christian?
Oh yes, I am a Christian. I'm very, very spiritual.
Okay. I asked that because I believe seeing you on that day on CNN and also trying to hear your talk today and see how passionate you are and the influence you've had on so many people, it only reminds me of the words that says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your work and glorify your Father which is in heaven." And that is what you are doing. By you finding your potential and letting your light shine and not trying to put it under the table no matter what. It makes the lights of other people around you shine, whether they accept and tell you that or not, whether they cover it and try to pretend that they don't know it or not. You're making an influence, and it's impacting the life of people around you and people around the world, and I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. And they always say that you can take light in the dark and you see it, but there is no way you can take dark in light and see it. So light destroys dark, but dark never destroys light. I would rather be light than dark.
I pray the Lord continue protecting you and leading you in this journey of your fight for the girl child. We need a lot of that, and I'm not sure how he found you. It just reminds me, it's like it's a big world, but he knows each and every individual child. That when he's ready for you, no matter your condition, he can make you what you never dream of being. He cares for every one of us, and this is an example. You coming all the way from Zimbabwe, from where you were at that child, going through all you went through to this point, it's a blessing. It shows you've not been forgotten. And a lot of children out there have not been forgotten, no matter your situation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. We are actually here at the Four Seasons Hotel in Seattle, Washington, of the United States. And Miss Betty Makoni, once again, thank you for your journey and thank you for telling your story. And you are more than, it's more than you, more than what people see. Thank you very much. Thank you.